We are now joined by a one featherweight world title contender, Tan Le. It's been a long time coming. This matchup has been going on for a while now. How do you feel, and how was it flying into Singapore?
Oh, the flight was great. Every time I travel over to this side of the world and fight, it's its own little adventure. So it's a lot of fun. I try to keep it lighthearted and kind of go with the punches, and it's always fun for me, my team, and yeah, everything coming over here was great. Getting into the hotel, beautiful hotel, accommodations were perfect. So no complaints there. And then obviously the matchup, what we've been waiting for a long time. The matchup was originally scheduled for mid-April. That got pushed back due to everything that was going on in the world today. And thankfully, we're here now and kind of all have come to this point and ready to put hands on somebody.
That's going to be an exciting one, man. We have a question here from MMA Heroics, and their question is, this is a fight you have been campaigning for some time now. Now that it's here, what can we look forward to?
Oh, you're going to see me, the best Tan Le possible. I've been preparing for this fight since I joined one championship, since I signed on the dotted line. I knew that eventually we would get here. I didn't know how many fights it would take or how many up and downs it would take, but it's been a relatively successful run. 3 fights, 3 kind of quick knockouts. So I've been doing good work so far. We just got to keep the momentum and never ever look past a great opponent and champion like Martin. And it's really nice to be able to finally match up, get what we've wanted, but now it's time to do work. We haven't accomplished anything. We've got the matchup. We got to win.
Nice, man. We got a next question here from Cage Side Press. Jay Anderson asked this question. You haven't been to a decision before. How have you adjusted your training camp to prepare for a 25-minute bout?
We've been preparing for a decision since I was an amateur. 9-minute fights, and then 15-minute fights, and then 25-minute fights. But it's never in the cards to sprint out there and try to finish this man in the first round recklessly. The knockouts have happened to come early in most of my fights, but that's not the game plan to go out there and just close my eyes and start swinging, right? We go out there and we do things calculated. We do things very, very precise. And then when the opening happens, I do a pretty good job of taking advantage. So that's pretty much what's happened so far in these fights. And I think it's going to be a much longer fight than we're used to against Martin. Disciplined. He's smart. He's not going to go out there and lay down and give his belt up easily, right? He's worked his whole life for this also, to retain this title, to keep this belt. And we're going to do our best to take it from him. So when that opening comes, we'll take it.
We have another question here from James Reese from MMA Overtime. Your opponent, Martin Nguyen, is known for finishing opponents with his famous overhand right. How are you planning to avoid it? And how confident are you of taking his biggest shots?
Taking his biggest shots? Not confident. We're not going to take his biggest shots. We're not going to be there, right? That's the goal. But if you put Martin in front of any man and he swings with all of his might and connects, he's going to sleep, just like me. If I hit any man on this planet with my fist and you let me hit you, you're going to sleep. The issue is not getting hit, right? So that's pretty much what my game is built for. And we're going to try to make that happen as well as we can throughout this entire 25-minute fight. We're going to try to move our feet. We're going to try to draw out the things that we know he wants to land, and then we're going to make our counters happen, right? And that's what I do best. So we're going to concentrate on creating that. We're going to use our feet to go into the power and away from the power, and then mix those things up and see what he can do with it.
Another question here from Conan Daly. This is your 4th fight now in one championship, and it's a title bout. Did preparation become more intense compared to the previous fights?
More intense? No. Ever since we've been amateur to pro, to title fights, to one championship, past that, we prepare the same way, and that is literally as smart and as hard and as consistent as possible. Now, what smart, hard, and consistent means have gotten better and better over time, which is awesome. My resources have gotten better and better over time, which is awesome. But, with what I have at the moment, training has been exactly the same, as hard as possible, as smart as possible, and as consistent as possible, right?
Another question here from Conan Daly. After the LFA title fight, What lessons did you learn from that? And how did it help you go on this current win streak?
There were a few lessons that I took away from that, but really a big one is being happy here and here with life, training, environment, training partners, things like that, coaches. It's been awesome. Not that nothing changed from the outside. If you look at my coaches, training partners, environment, all that's been the same throughout the entire fight on. But it's been awesome changing the way I approach things, the way I'm a little more laid back and roll with the punches and able to really take things in stride and not put too much emphasis on this is a title fight. If I win, what happens? If I lose, what happens? Those things don't matter. What matters is there's two guys in the cage. They're going to punch each other in the face, and we're going to do our best to fight the best that day.
Enjoying the process, enjoying the journey.
100%.
We got another question here from Michael Clifton of Low Kick MMA. This fight has been a long time coming. What was it like for you to finally arrive in Singapore ahead of your clash? Were you worried about that this fight wasn't going to take place in 2020?
There's always a concern. We start getting later in the year, and we're like, man, I'm ready to fight, and you get a little antsy because that's what I do. We schedule fights, prepare to fight, and we go out there and put hands on people. And it's a little uneasy when you sit at home and you have nothing else to do, and all you're doing is thinking about getting a matchup, flying out there, doing the process, right? But it's really cool to be able to finally be here, land, feel like, man, it's awesome. This is happening. Good. This is what we've worked our entire life for, right? And you step foot in the hotel, you step foot in Singapore, and you're like, man, I'm so grateful and thankful and happy to be able to do this for a living, to be able to put a show on for the fans and go out there and do what I love.
Feel it, man. You look like you love your job. We got another question here from Jude of Overtime Heroics. This will be your fourth fight now in one championship. Do you see yourself finishing your career with the promotion?
Who knows? I do. I see that, but who knows what comes, right? I've laid out some plans throughout my career that have played out well and haven't played out in my favor. So again, we go back to being able to roll with the punches, being able to take things in stride. But, I feel like with the energy that we give and the energy that we keep within ourselves and our family and our friends and our circles, that good things come if we continue to prepare and do things the right way, without end goals in sight, without only money or belts on our mind, and I think things play out really well that way. So we'll see what happens. And, but yeah, I'm so happy with one and the way I'm treated, the way fighters are treated, the way the promotion handles everything. It's, I couldn't be happier, I'll tell you that.
Completely agree with you, man. We have another question here now from Conan Daly. You and Martin are both Vietnamese. Can you tell us more about your Vietnamese background and what do you think of Martin Nguyen as a fighter?
Okay, so, my dad's Vietnamese. My mom's from the middle of nowhere, Kentucky. It's an awesome little matchup there that has brought my brother and I into the world. But it's really cool to be able to obviously have a dad/coach and really a mentor and an idol and, all those words, right? He's your hero, your dad is. And I feel like he approached, martial arts, life, relationships, working, coaching my brother and I all the right way. I couldn't have had a better example, as parents. But it's really cool to have my dad obviously come from this side of the world and bring that honor code, moral system, whatever you call it, into our lives and bring us up with that type of background and tradition and really instill that in us in our everyday life, in our martial arts life. And I think he did the dad coach thing as best as you could do it. I have a son and I have a daughter on the way.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Super happy. But I want to do it exactly like he did. He did it the right way. He did it the perfect way. It wasn't too pushy, wasn't too laid back, right? And drove us enough to be superior and really build skills, but wasn't so overbearing that I hate martial arts now. I love it with every fiber in my body, and that's hard balance to do, right? So I think that part is cool. And then as far as Martin, he asked about Martin. Awesome fighter. He's a champion for a reason, right? Very skilled, very patient, very experienced, and he's got a great corner behind him. So all those things make him who he is as a fighter. And we're trying to understand that. We're trying to figure him out as a fighter and a man to see what we're going to get out of him in the cage. Those guys are smart. They're going to mix it up. They're going to change game plans up. They're going to adjust mid-fight. I think our adjustments are going to be better. I think our adjustments are going to be smarter. And I think I'm going to be more opportunistic. And I think that's what's going to get us the W.
Man, that's really going to be an incredible matchup. We got another question here from Overtime Heroics MMA. You have been a featherweight for much of your career, and you are a big, big boy. Does moving up to lightweight in your sights, is that one of your goals?
I say this in every interview. I'll never, ever look past any opponent that's in front of me, right? But you've got to make short-term and long-term goals in this sport, and that's one of my long-term goals, of course, is to be able to move up to lightweight. Christian's a great champion. He's fighting on the card, obviously. It's going to be really cool to see him fight. But, yeah, that is definitely on the horizon.
One more here. Between your one debut and now, how much do you think you have improved?
It's hard to give that an answer, right? But I tell you, in this last little bit with one championship, these 3 fights, I've gotten better than any other span in my career. I guarantee you I've gotten better from the fight with Yusuf to now, better in that time than I did when I was a day one person until I was a pro. I know that doesn't make sense and it sounds a little weird, but I've gotten so much better over that time. And that's why I'm so excited and grateful and thankful to be able to show my family, my friends, everybody that I belong here. I'm going to take this belt and how much better I've gotten.
Yeah, you look like you have some incredible momentum behind you, and sometimes the pieces just fit and it feels like the right time.
Yeah.
We got another question here now from Fight Game Asia. Given that both of you are very big knockout strikers, no one really expects this bout to go to the ground. But in case it does, how confident are you in your ground game? How has working with guys like Ryan Hall helped improve your grappling skills?
Not at all. I don't think it's helped me at all. So he should probably try to take me down and just beat me up on the ground and see how that goes.
Man, you are now three bouts, 3 first round finishes. Do you think you can take him out in the first round?
If the opportunity arises, I'll do my best to take advantage. But like I said earlier in one of the previous questions, I think Martin's too disciplined, too controlled, too calculated, and patient to get finished in the first round. But who knows? We'll expect anything. If he comes out, rushes me, brings on an crazy amount of pressure, then if I touch him, he's going to go to sleep. Yeah.
Now, we see from your home videos, you train a lot with your brother. Tell us what's that like, having a brother just training together and pushing you to your limits?
It's literally the best thing possible, man. I tell you what, he's taken the coach role so well. It's awesome to be able to, like, obviously as a child, as he was coming up and practicing Taekwondo and us traveling and doing tournaments, being able to coach him and know him as a fighter and a person, obviously, and coach him a certain way and see what he needs to be a better fighter and a better practitioner. And then now the roles are reversed and he's doing the same thing with me. You approach different fighters different ways, and the best way to know how to approach a fighter is to know that person the best. And how closer can you be than the Libros, So it's not possible. So I make a joke all the time that we're pretty much twins. Twins have their own language and all this stuff. We're 9 years apart, but we're pretty much twins, man. I'm 13 still here, and it's awesome to be able to be on the same wavelength as somebody, to be able to speak the same language, the same fight language, and incorporate his twists on his game, because we fight pretty much very identical. But if we zoom in to the microscopic level, we fight completely different. So it's awesome to be able to take his side of things and my side of things, merge it together. But anybody that knows me knows that family is the absolute biggest thing. to me. Spending time with them, being able to travel, train, do work with them. It's family dinner on Friday nights is a highlight of my life. So I can't really speak anymore on that, but it's excellent and it's wonderful and it's awesome to have them in my corner.
We got 2 more questions for you. Thank you for your time. The second to last question: if you dethrone Martin, would you fight for a second belt in the lightweight division just like Martin?
Yeah, I would love to. Obviously, let's say we go out there and I don't know, knock Martin down in the first round, like you mentioned earlier. This man's been champ for 3 years. He's had a very dominant run. Who knows? Maybe they give him a rematch and we do it in Vietnam and really sell that fight since MMA just got legalized out there. So that would be huge for the sport. I think huge for the company and huge for the country. And then, being able to defend there would be wonderful. And then we'll talk about moving up.
You're a man with the plan. I see it. That's going to be insane if that ever goes down. And one more question for you from Tom Taylor, VJPen.com. Martin has been a dominant champion in one. If you beat him, you talked about, would you consider giving him an immediate rematch? And if so, you think this could be a beginning of a long-term rivalry?
I don't know. We'll see how that plays out, right? Like I like Martin as a person for what I've seen. I like him as a fighter. He trains with a great team. After we hash all this out, whether we have this rivalry that lasts years or we go out there and I'll finish him or he finishes me or whatever the case may be, man, later on down the road, I want to go over there and train with those guys. They're great people, great team, great fighters, a lot of knowledge over there to soak up. So, I don't do this because I need to I don't do this and get angry for fights and push people at the weigh-ins and, talk all this smack. That's just not my style. I'm a martial artist. I've been doing this my entire life. This is nothing new. Having another man trying to hit me until I'm unconscious is not new to me. I'm trying to do the same thing to him. It's all good, all respect there. But yeah, if this rivalry lasts 3-4 fights, then cool. If it doesn't, then no problem. We'll go get some training with those guys.
We got a last one for fun. I don't know what this means, but if you stand up and stretch like a weirdo, like you told South, were you going to do that like South China Morning Post?
Stand up and stretch like a weirdo?
I don't know. This was the question you threw out at me. So I'm just throwing it out there to you.
I'm not sure how to answer that one.
All right, man. Thank you so much for your time. All the best this Friday night.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.